Welcome to the Ward's Way Podcast.
Okay, well, welcome to the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, 65th anniversary. I'm not sure how that happened, and it's the Ward's 75th anniversary.
Right.
And I'm here with my friend Dean duToit, president, owner of National Marine. And what's going on? How are you doing? How's business?
Another boat show, another year.
Another year, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. We've been doing some things together. You guys have done a lot of charity work. You always do, but you've had a lot going on recently. With you had the spin-a-thon. It was the first annual that we got to be a part of. You just finished your poker run. Talk to me about that. How, with everything you have going on, do you manage to do all these charity functions?
I think I was talking to Johnny Allen and AJ from Right Maritime, and it's that all of us have been in this industry for so long, and if we have such a following as far as longevity, for us to get together and do and make a difference, and to give to and pick a charity and make a difference is probably, I would say, one of the most rewarding things of whether you think you're a success or not. When you can give back to a charity and we can combine all our efforts like that, no, the charitable work just kind of falls in line. We're passionate about it, from breast cancer to Task Force Dagger to the kids in distress, et cetera, et cetera. It's awesome.
And I think you do a good job of bringing it home to people, because on your breast cancer, I like how, I go to your events, but I like how you're like, we were able to give 200 mammograms this year to that. But I mean, that's a huge thing to be able to provide to a community, and that it went to the community. I think that that's important.
Well, all of us, as I told you earlier, we're as good as our staff, and we staff a lot of people. Our staff is what makes our company, but when we look at the community around us and we can make a difference as companies, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's where it's probably the most rewarding thing in business. It makes it a lot of fun. And when we do a charity event, we have a good time.
You know what? I have to say that too. All the ones that I go to, even if it's whether it's on that bike, which the first few minutes are okay. And then
the spin-a-thon?
Yeah.
That was brutal.
And then the last rider, they came around with tequila shots, which fortunately was my 21-year-old son. I was like, you need to do cleanup, because this is not going to be... But in fairness, though, I love the camaraderie. I love how everybody comes together. And I think that that's, when you look at that group of people, it's your company, it's Quantum, it's our company, it's AJ Right Maritime. We're all very different in what we do, but I do think that we all have a very similar culture and work together that way. And I think that's part of the success.
It's what you got to keep business fun. We all work really hard.
We do.
It's an industry that demands a lot. It's an industry that we've poured our heart and soul into it. You guys, from your dad, meeting him 35 years ago. You guys are longer than we have, but we've all poured our heart and soul into it, and it's all a lot of work, but it's a great industry. And it's a lot of work.
So how did you and Mary start National 35 years ago? Is it 35 this year?
November will be 35, but I basically...
Congratulations.
I was on yachts prior to. Started from a decky to a first mate, all the way up to being a captain. Saw a kind of a need out there, and left boats. In one aspect, tongue-in-cheek, regret it, because I miss the ocean, but I had a great run. In the early days when yachting was fun, there was no AIS. You could tuck the boat into an anchorage, and you could spend a week or two there and tell the boss you might have
no AIS.
Yes.
Wow.
Boss, we have a little delay here. So, no, it was always, but there was a need. I couldn't believe that it was like almost impossible to find stuff. And if you did find it, you would get raped because you were on this big white yacht.
Sure.
And then when I kind of just left yachting, got a truck and a beeper, which most people don't know what beepers are.
Hey, when I first started with our company in 1996, we had beepers, and the keyboard that you could type all the messages on. Oh, that was high tech.
I remember buying my first fax machine. I thought I hit the big time when I did that. So no, it's been a long road. I don't think I could ever do it again.
How many employees do you have now?
Too many.
Okay. But I do know that you guys are in a lot of, how many locations do you have? How about that? I'll ask that.
Yeah, we have, we've got strategic locations, obviously St. Martin, St. Thomas, Antigua, covering the Caribbean. And then we fall in line into Europe. We have an office in Ellesmere, right across from De Vries, which really covers most of our new build sector. And then in Milan, in our fueling, our fueling that we've been going on now for 22, 23 years with Aminta. And we've just got a group of people and strategic locations. And one of the newest ones is the one in the Pacific with, National Pacific, which is based out of New Zealand, but he covers both, most, once the boats get to the Pacific, our office there can strategically help them out with pretty much A to Z while we tie in the synergies between all of us working together. The boats have the best of both worlds in the different geographical locations. It's the agents, it's the contacts, it's the logistics of following the boats around the world, and most importantly, getting them their stuff. And that's kind of led into, why did we do this? We did this really to help ourselves, but mostly to help the industry. And for us we used to ship all over the place, which we do that for a living. But if we tied into our offices and had somebody on the ground, the success of making sure that we guaranteed our own stuff. We made sure when the boat needed it,
right.
When it was Christmas Eve, when it was New Year's Eve, we were going to make sure no matter what, we had people on the ground. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that's changed with us in the last couple of decades. But it's an industry that never sleeps. We go 100 miles an hour.
Is there anything you don't provision?
No.
I was going to say.
It's like you look at a captain, you can speak to any captain, any crew member or senior officer, and when the owner asks, there's no such thing as no.
Right.
Which means that when the owner asks them, we want this, we want that, we want to go here, we want to go there, they have to figure it out. And when it comes to the supply chain, they turn to us, and then we have to pull off the miracles, and we have to figure out how to do it. Anybody can go out and buy something, but it's getting the stuff to the locations, putting a body on an airplane, sticking it in a bag, or doing whatever.
But the other thing is, you guys don't somebody doesn't say, for example, we're having a rosé tasting here. You don't just go.
Rosé, by the way, having a podcast.
Yeah, drinking and talking. It is, now we're going to have to go on to the explicit
But we
program.
do it all the time.
Do we?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to say that.
We do.
I know. Okay. Well, that's what makes us so successful. How about that?
Cheers on that.
Okay. I have to get
Did
mine.
you drink yours? No. Oh, she already downed hers. I'm sorry.
Not. Cheers. Absolutely. And to national team. But I think it's also that you don't only provide what it is they ask for, you provide them, and I was having a conversation with Bert about this, their standard. There's an expectation. If you are to provide linens, if you are to provide soft goods or hard goods, whatever it is you're to provide, my understanding is you provide the best of what they want.
Yeah.
And that's not always easy to do.
Well, it really is the service, the product is the product. When it comes to provisions, there's no doubt. It's top grade everything, top of the line everything. And I think the biggest challenge is the provisioning side. A part's a part.
Right.
A Hubble
you're
plug's
right.
a Hubble plug. But when it comes to provisioning, the cut, the steak, the caviar, the freshness of the berries, we open up every single solitary container and inspect the berries before we seal it,
Wow.
Put it back in the box, package it, and get it ready to ship. So those are the things. It's the industry as a whole is they have to the crew. The pressure's on the captain and the crew. They have to accomplish it. If they use us or as a supply chain and we get to do it, we don't really have a choice to fail.
Right.
We can't fail. And that's one of the things that with bringing everything in-house at National, we have 12 divisions. We have our own in-house shipping, our own packaging, our own hazmat, our own everything. And our logistics is probably one of the biggest keys to making our jobs successful, I'd like to think.
Yes.
But we're also at the mercy of the shipping lines and everything else. But we have 8 relationships And we have agents around the world that stick by us, that have helped us. And if our package gets there, they deliver.
So is there anything new coming up for National? One of the things that I said on the intro is that, we just turned 75 and we're just getting started, because one of the things that I want to work with my team is, just because we made it this far doesn't mean we don't have places to go, and constantly. And I feel like not only the world's evolving, our industry's evolving, technology's always evolving. Is there anything new coming up for you, or something you're gonna?
Well, the biggest thing that I think the change or the challenge or the mission statement for me as a supply company, I've said this before, we've been doing it for years, it's nothing new, this is basically working at the sustainable future of products, things that we supply, chemicals that we supply that are completely not environmentally friendly. Fiji water. We do hundreds of pallets of Fiji water. Those containers are the absolute worst, but the boats all order Fiji. We still do teak acids and chemicals that they clean the decks, and it goes directly into the water. So with people like Alan at Teak Decking, who's coming out, with environmentally friendly teak cleaners that aren't acidic, boat soaps that aren't acidic, chemicals. We're really working hard at that. We spent 2 years designing a entire yachtwear line of clothing that is made out of recycled plastics. We launched it about 4 months ago.
Wow.
It is everything.
What's it called?
It's called Yachtwear.
Yachtwear.
Yep.
Okay.
It's literally Yachtwear. We have a beautiful brand, a name brand. Spent 2 years designing, 2 years manufacturing, and finally we wanted to make sure we had full inventory for girls and guys, from pants to casual wear to board shorts, to your evening wear, to your long pants, dress shorts, and everything.
What made you think of that?
A really, really
idea.
good friend of mine is in the uniform industry.
Okay.
And he showed me the quality of the products. And he told me it was made out of recycled plastic. I said, there's no way. If you touch this product, if you felt the product, it is amazing.
Wow.
And knowing that everything is made from that was a big push for me.
Absolutely.
It was a huge investment for National Marine, but it was something that I believed in, and I still believe in it. But when you say what's different, what's in the near future, I'm going to work as hard as we possibly can to make a change. When somebody orders a pallet or a case of Fiji, we're giving them the paper water, and we're giving them the aluminum cans water for them to try it.
Sure.
They show your owner. And it starts from the top. It starts from the owner wanting to make a difference on board the boat. And it also then lends down to even a captain putting his foot down. It could be the chief stew saying, nope, I don't want plastics on the boat. So it's one of the things where the industry is looking at more and more, even the way they construct the boats, till they make it. Unfortunately, they will never always be environmentally friendly. We will always, dent the so-called, sustainable future. But I think in yachting, if everybody kind of pays attention to it, it's our job to educate. It's our job to give the people, when they're ordering, options. And on the Yachtwear line, we've always done uniforms. We've done it for a long, long time. But now we figured that we would really pour all our energy into getting things out there that are definitely going to make a difference. So that's the biggest push for us. Becomes more fun, becomes more challenging.
Yes.
And
yes.
The industry gets bigger. We were supplying 60 and 80 footers back in the day. And now the 60 becomes a 160, a 260, and it goes on from there. So that just lends us to the point where you say, how many staff? You need more people and more, bodies to conduct the mission of what we get asked to do. And it's a lot of people, it's a lot of years. But because we've been making, you learn from making your mistakes. And we've made a lot of mistakes in 35 years. When you fall, you have to get up. And we've done a lot of falling and we've done a lot of getting up. But with that, we've been able to create, we'd like to think by now we better know what we're doing.
Right.
We better know how to deliver. If the industry does turn to us, we have to make it happen.
Well, and you do. And congratulations again on your 35th anniversary. And I think that you're selling yourself a little bit short, because a lot of people do know that when you call National, you're going to get what you need, and all the boats that rely on you for all sorts of things all over the world. And I think you guys do a wonderful job. But as you and I were talking before we did this, it's a lot to keep it going.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think we always have to look at, like you're saying, sustainability. I know even on an electrical side where it seems like how would our two businesses even really be tied? Obviously, we help supply whatever you may need from an electrical perspective, but even on the sustainability, boats, probably back when you were a captain, boats ran with huge generators, load banks, and you don't see that anymore. We see owners that have fleets of boats, and so they have their bigger boat, but then they have their sport fish that they want to take to very, very remote places, and they're not allowed to be on generator, or they need to use inverted power. So we're running into some of that too, and I agree with you. I think all of us collectively need to have that in mind. So
we have to make a difference. I think it's almost it's our jobs, and we have to continue running a business, which isn't easy. A challenge in itself is the ups and downs of economics and everything else, and now the election a couple days.
I just was gonna say I can't finish the podcast without
Did you vote
talking
yet?
about. I have, absolutely. You haven't done
I
it
won't
yet?
vote.
Oh,
I will
I
stand
know
in
you
line
will.
till I drop.
Yep, I did.
Who knows what's going to happen after that? And
Yeah.
we're just going to take it from there. But
Well, here's what I say to people, and you can say the same thing for all the years we've been in business.
Yeah.
There have been R's, there have been D's next to our leaders, and you know what? We just have to adapt. And the country's going to be great. We're still the United States, and we're going to make it through that.
Yeah.
But we are at a captain's event that we are working together with today, so I don't want to steal too much of your time.
No.
But thank you for taking the time today. Thank you for being a
My
long
pleasure.
trusted business partner and friend, and working together with us for all these years.
history, man.
Absolutely. And looking forward to future. Did you finish it?
No.
Oh, come on now.
Myself, it's a
All
bullshit.
right.
Thanks, honey.
Thank you. Cheers to a great
Always
show.
Pleasure.
Yep.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.